processing and customer service division manager, planning and analysis staff, and department manager in accounts management and compliance before his selection to and graduation from the senior management readiness program. Steve has been a resident of Ohio for over 30 years, but is a native of Washington, D.C. Please help me welcome Ingrid and Steve.
Danny's a homie of mine, so we can bring it down the way we do it. You know, everyone that gets into a competitive process knows that they're good. All right? When I get an HQ, which is the highly qualified, or a BQ, which is best qualified, everybody on those lists are equally qualified to do out the process. So I will put it this way, when you're competing, you're swimming with a lot of fish that swim as fast as you do, all right? So when you think that, you know, I got all of this going on, everybody on that list got that going on too. And you may know some things privately about them that you think in that work area that you did better than they did, but the fact of the matter is you weren't evaluating them, right? What I find so interesting sometimes is people tell me, well, I'm better, I do this better than so-and-so. How do you know that? You weren't evaluating them, all right? And so when folks come in to interview, right, notice Susan was nodding her head. When people come in to interview, this is where a lot of folks are simply tied across the board. You may be strong in one area and weak in an area based on your paperwork. They may be equally strong in another area and weak somewhere else. So we're looking at the interview process to break the tie. And it's how you answer your questions tells us what you put in writing tells us one thing. What we get in the interview is something else. And let's be quite honest about the paper product. All right? Quite honestly, if those folks are really, really bright, if they're really, really bright, they've had some people help them with their paperwork. All right? So if you did the paperwork and someone else enhanced the paperwork, whose product is that? So I'm looking at a written product that may not be you. But when I'm looking at you across the table, I'm dealing with you. And so that's where I make my determinations. Okay? And then going back to your selected officials, in my case, if I'm on the interview panel, I am not the selected official. The selected official has to be my supervisor. It has to be a level up. I will be the recommending person, but the person above me is actually the selected official. So the people that are conducting the interviews are not necessarily selecting, but they are the recommending officials. And I don't know about Susan's case, but I've been an executive since 1992. Everyone I have recommended, my supervisor has selected. You may wonder why. Do you know why? Because if I recommend them, I'm responsible for them. All right? If they succeed, cool. If they don't succeed, my supervisor is looking at me. Why did you suggest this person that can move forward? Because there's different levels of accountability. So when I recommend somebody, I am putting my full faith, credit, and accountability in support of that person. That's very important to me. Because we get things done based upon our credibility, not because of our position.
You have to let us know what value added you have. You know, I need to know, Steve needs to know, Jim, any other management official who would be making a selection to bring someone in, what can you do to make my operation, my team, my unit, my group, my center a better place? Which means, what are you going to